Folks, I want to take you to the presentation at the ORAD event after lunch, day one, with the one and only Adrian Hernandez. Day one after lunch is a hard speaking spot. What Adrian was able to do was get the room off their feet, get them moving and grooving, and get them to think about something called Miracle Alert. At the end of the day, folks, I have something to tell you. Life is hard. Life is hard for everyone. Hard may mean your father is murdered. Life is hard may mean you have 23 different jobs. Life is hard. You lose 80% of your stack. Life is hard. Adrian, that talk after lunch is amazing. If you know what, let's do this. If I get 100 thumbs up on this video, I will release that video to the world. Otherwise,
Let's
it's going to
go.
stay behind the paywall.
Hit that like
So
button. Hit the like button.
let's see. Let's see what happens.
Let's
Adrian,
go.
awesome presentation.
Yeah.
I knew you would kill it. I had very high expectations, and you cleared the goal in street shoes. Nice work.
Let's go. It's and you guys got to say the miracle alert came from the one and only the legend Thatch Nguyen, right? We all know Thatch. You know, Thatch really put me on the miracle alert. You know, when things aren't going your way, right? They are actually going your way. When
Say it again, Thatch. Say it again.
when things aren't going your way, things are actually going your way, right?
Yeah.
But we got to be able to embrace it. And a miracle alert, right? Like miracle alert. I talked about on stage how, you know, my father, my biological father was shot and killed, you know, before I was 1 year old. And, you know, some of us can look at that and, you know, be poor me, poor life. And I look at that as, and you guys, I mean this with all, you know, with nothing but respect, but it's like miracle alert, right? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that happening, right? I then travel down my life, and then all of a sudden I lose
Well,
hundreds
well,
and thousands.
let's be
Yeah.
clear. Like, if folks don't know your story, right? Again, miracle alert. You have another path with another father figure, but if that didn't happen, Adrian Hernandez will either be dead or in jail because you would have probably gone down the gang path, which was the path that you probably would have ended up on.
Most definitely. So I'm originally from a really bad part of Los Angeles, guys. All my parents, even my father now, they were all in gangs, right? My biological father was involved in a gang. Would they say that it was a gang drive-by shooting on how he passed away? Long story short, because the gangs are so alpha, right? Who wants to claim alpha? A person that they called friends and the gang actually ended up shooting and killing him, right? That was the truth. That's what really happened, right?
Wow.
And you look at that, and you know, I say miracle alert because I believe that God had a bigger plan. You know, a gentleman came into my life that I call my dad now, and you know, his brother got into real estate. My dad bought his first house at 23 years old, right? He bought his first house. He was able to get equity from that house, and we were able to move to Rancho Cucamonga, Fontana at that time, right? Which is the Inland Empire of California, where there is no gangs. And had I still been there, right? Had I still been in that environment, you know, I like Zuber said, I more than likely be dead or in jail.
Yeah.
And I look at that as a positive. And you know what's funny is, I don't want to say what's funny. What's ironic is when I was 15 years old, and when I found out, there was a girl I was dating at the time, and we had girlfriends back then, right? They're not really,
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways. And I remember looking at her, and I'm like, I'm actually so grateful that this happened. And she's looking at me like, what are you talking about? Like, you just found out you have another dad. And I'm like, I wouldn't be here right now, Danielle. We wouldn't
Yeah.
be here right now if this didn't
Yeah.
happen. Like, it's just, we all have things that have happened for us, guys. We have to look at the miracle alert. We have to look at how life ended up transpiring afterwards, right? And you got to take responsibility for that.
Yeah. One of the things that I believe in, and one of the things I'm doing now in my life is I'm finding books that I like, and then I'm seeking out the author. And one of them is, oh, actually, I have it at home. It's called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink.
Jacob Willows. Yep.
And I have that book autographed because extreme ownership is where it's at. Just assume everything is your fault.
So good.
It life gets better that way. And again, it sucks. It's hard, but own it. And when you own, this is the magic of owning it. It gives you permission to learn.
Mm.
If you blame others, there's no learning.
So good. So good.
And I know life is hard. Life has kicked me in the nuts endless amount of times. As soon as I took responsibility for all of them, my life got better. It never feels good to take an L. It never feels good to take multiple L's. But if you learn from them, at least you took the L for a reason, right?
Most
Right.
definitely.
I think Michael Jordan had a quote I just put on Instagram that basically says, I don't mind losing as long as I tried and showed up. Something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys, we got to choose our hard. Like it's going to
Yeah.
be hard regardless. Being broke is hard, and
Mhm.
going out and finding a way to create a buy box and approach agents and find a way to fund a deal and buy a rental property is hard. But which hard would you rather have? Right? Would you rather have the heart of no financial freedom or the heart of financial freedom? Either way, it's going to be difficult. To say that life is easy, you're more than likely just living in your bedroom, not doing anything, playing video games. And even then, it's still hard because someone else is taking care of you and they're
Mm.
picking up the hard.
Yeah. So I actually pulled up Instagram, folks. You can follow me on Instagram, one rental at a time. Michael Jordan's, I can accept failure, but I cannot accept not trying.
So good. So good.
Right. So good in that. So again, I think I don't know why, but I don't, it's hard for everyone, right? Some people went to the Vegas event, they look at what Olivia and I have done, and they may think like, oh, good for them. They got lucky or whatever. But it was 20 years. The first 5 years were horrible, right? They were slow. We were learning. Dude, the first tenant we bought almost kicked us out of the whole process, right?
Wow.
They didn't pay rent. They destroyed the property. I mean, there was all kinds of ways that we could have gotten kicked out of the process. Life is hard. Learn the lesson. Um, and I love the idea of miracle alert.
Yeah.
Just telling yourself that, like when you're staring an L in the face, it's like freeing a little.
It's so free. When Thatch, when Thatch put me onto that idea, and I remember, I went to Thatch when I was 24, 25, when I was starting to get rid of my ego, right? My ego flared up for about 3 years. When I went to Thatch, I remember him telling me everything is a gift. Adrian,
Mm,
everything is a gift. Everything you go through is a gift. And then, I see him, what was that, a year and a half ago, and he goes, everything's a miracle, right? There's no reason why Thatch's life is so beautiful. It's because everything that happens, both negative and positive, is a miracle alert. And you guys, everything that has happened in our life, negative and positive, is all a miracle alert. We just got to see it that way and then call it out when it happens. Like,
mm.
we had this crazy issue at our office, right? And Nick and I were looking at each other and we start laughing and we go, miracle alert, miracle alert, miracle alert. And our team walks in and they're like, how are you guys happy right now? And we're like, there's no other way to be. Miracle alert. This is going to help us get to the next level. And the crew's looking at us like, we have just, we just
Yeah,
drank a bottle of freaking wine. What the hell
these
is wrong
people
with
are
these guys?
on something.
But it's the only other way to see it. And then guess what happens? Something great comes around the corner. We get a deal locked up on a PPC deal that was like 110 grand, and then boom, that problem goes away. And it's like, you see, guys, it's a miracle alert. But had I been stuck in that, right? Had I been stuck in that, could we have attracted that next deal? Could we have really, we maybe not have been able to see it because we're so fogged with what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. You may not have seen it. You may not be able to maximize it. It may have gone from 110 to 40, and you'd be like, "See, I told you it was." I mean, it's this notion of a miracle alert. And again, I want to go back to your story on stage. We need 100 thumbs up, remember, and we'll release it. Um, yeah, hit the thumbs up button. You told a story about having, I think it was 5 months in a row. It might have been four, but I think it was 5 months in a row of losses. We're talking significant losses. And
Significant. And not
again,
last year,
yeah,
not too long ago.
like 6 months ago. Oh, painful, painful. Um, and current. But talk about that and then how you turned that into a miracle alert and then how you changed.
Yeah. So, guys, we run a big marketing budget, right? We run about $100,000 a month in marketing. And last year the market started to change and I wasn't really focused on the business, the core business. I was distracted and, I was focusing on trying to do something else. Long story short, November, December, January, February. Yeah, November, December, January, February, $100,000 losses plus each month. I believe in January we had like a one. It was crazy. It was an obscene number, right? And I remember going to Nick and I'm like, I'm stressing out, right? I'm freaking out. He's starting to freak out, and then I remember my training. I remember that this is all a gift and there's a reason why we're going through it. So I go, look, dude, I need you to saddle up. I need 50 grand, right? I'm going to put up all the rest and we're going to get through this, right? And sure enough, we just one foot after another. We get rid of half the team. We get rid of the things that were bogging us down. We got rid of marketing channels. We literally cut marketing in half instantly. Actually, more than half. We went from like $100,000 to $30,000 in marketing. We just cut everything because we knew that we can climb out of this. We've done it before. I don't want to say we've done it before, but we've produced on our own, so we can figure this out. Now, I want to a little side note. We tried to create a big team, and that big team really wasn't working for us, and that's why we've lost so much money. Guys, know thyself, right? We talked about a great video right now on how to make 7 figures and the mindset right, and solopreneur, entrepreneur, and we just had to realize and figure out our lane. Well, sure enough, here comes March comes around. We start gaining a little momentum. April comes around, a little bit momentum. June comes around, momentum. July, $220,000 month, $225 month, $170,000, and all of a sudden we're back, right?
Yeah.
I know companies that went 2 months with losses, and I don't hear from them anymore.
No, I mean the wholesale business, and this would have been this like November, December of 22 into January of 23, right?
23.
Like we talked, we have videos, we have receipts where you had 6-figure losses. Jason Pritchard, he and I have videos where he had 6-figure losses. It was painful.
Painful.
And you're absolutely right. There are wholesalers that had 2 bad months and are gone,
Gone.
right?
Gone.
And you looked at it as a miracle alert. And just like Jason, or just like you, Jason, after he saddled up, cleaned up the mess, he had a freaking record year. Think about having a record year when you had a January and February where you had a hole.
Crazy. Yeah,
It's nuts.
it's nuts. We did $1.2 million in 7 months.
Is that
Net.
all? Is that
Like
all?
that, like it just because you come back as fast as you fall in it, as long as you can look at the positive is how fast back you can get back, as long as you look at the miracle, as long as
Yeah.
you're able to take that and go, you know what, this is working for me, not to me, this is working for me, this is all in alignment, right? And you guys, this life is, I don't know about you, I don't know anything longer than our life, right? I don't know anything, so like we might as well just look at it that way, because the
Yeah.
opposite is going to be really freaking hard. And
Mm.
everything you go through is just going to be 10 times more painful.
Yeah.
It's
At
good.
the end of the day, folks, no, I've never met a successful person who hasn't had some points in their life that were hard. Most people that I know in the game have had some very, very hard things that you really wouldn't wish on your greatest
Yeah.
enemy. Um, but it's how you choose to look at it. Life's hard for everyone. I love the concept of miracle alert. It just allows you to instantly look at something differently and really give yourself permission to learn and move forward.
I remember when I was going through that, I'm at the gym, and there's a really, really successful gentleman that goes to the gym. He's upwards of about $1 billion net worth. And he sees me and he sees me and he sees me going through it. And I see him staring at me day after day, and I'm friends with him. And he finally walks up and he goes, "Hey, you okay?" And I'm like, I tell him what's going on. And he starts laughing and he goes, "You're on track, buddy. You're on track, buddy." Pats my back and walks away. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about, on track?
Oh, sorry, my bad. What the heck?
Beep.
My bad. Can I beep that out? Oh, shoot. I don't edit videos. My bad.
So I'm like, what does this guy mean? Well, after I get out of it, I go to him and I'm like, hey, what, why were you? And he goes, I knew you would get out of it. And he
Yeah.
goes, but you're right on track. And he goes, and if you didn't get out of it, we probably wouldn't be talking anymore. But I knew
Yeah.
you would. I knew
Yeah.
it was possible. And he goes, and guess what? It may or may not happen again. And if it does happen again, you're going to be that much more stronger and you're going to come that much more out of it. And it was
Well,
just so good.
it's really funny. You really want to have an honest conversation. If he's truly a billionaire, he's looking at you going, just wait till this happens to you next time. The zeros only get bigger next time.
Only get
Right?
bigger.
Right. Because everybody looks at the path from 0 to a million like a straight line or 0 to success. And you've seen it, right? It's ups and downs and backwards and all these crazy loops. But Yeah, I could see that. I could see somebody who's on top of the mountain looking down, going, "Yep, you're in it. I expect you to get out of it, and you'll be better for it." But yeah, I can tap you on the shoulder.
The funniest thing was the pat on the back, dude. He's like, "You'll get through it, buddy. You'll get through
Yeah,
it."
you'll get
And
through it,
I'm
buddy.
like,
Who
"This
the heck are
the
you?
hell? Can I borrow some money?"
Did it just happen? Oh, that is hilarious. Dude, at the end of the day, I hope people give this 100 thumbs up so we can release your video. Let's put a timeline on it. Let's say 100 thumbs up by March 1st. So we've got, you're lucky tomorrow's leap year, so you got a full day tomorrow to get this up. So, Adrian, any closing thoughts?
Pick your hard, number one. Pick your hard. In one way or another, it's going to be hard. And number two, look at everything as a miracle and shout it out loud. Miracle alert, miracle alert. Even though your mind's going to play games with you, don't listen to it. Just miracle alert. And you guys, it's a miracle that you're here watching this call for a reason. It's a miracle that you're listening to this, and it's a miracle that you're going to click that like button because you got to watch
You
that
want
video.
that video. You want that video
Yes.
from the event. It will be it. Let's just say it this way. It will probably be the only event. Like if we get 100, it'll be the only one that I released into the wild. All the others will stay behind the paywall because again, it's extremely valuable and I've spent big money recording that thing. So there you go.
I
Take
love
care.
it. Appreciate
Thanks.
you, Zuber.